Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for October 5th, 2019, with your host, Peacemaker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
Oh boy, do we have some fun Pokemon news that some people are probably upset about. Yeah, we got that and a little bit, a couple extra things, but I guess before we get into any of that, Tommy, what have you been playing these last couple weeks?
Truthfully, not much, nothing outside of what's been streamed, and a little bit of Fortnite. And by little bit, I mean a little bit.
I probably played too much Fortnite to try to get that level 65.
And how's that going?
Well, I'm at the point where all I need is the overtime challenges, and they don't come out until next week. So I'm kind of in this holding pattern of I could do dailies, but I kind of don't want to because I'm not getting anything out of them except experience. and it's only so much compared to the overtime challenges. So yeah, I have played the Destiny 2 New Light thingamahooget.
I haven't yet. Partly because I have played the main story for Destiny 2 before any expansions, so it's like, yeah, I can wait until we pick that up on Fridays.
Yeah. Honestly, you're not missing a whole lot, I guess, if you've played that.
Like, how much extended from there?
Okay, here's how the New Light experience breaks down. You create your character, and then you play like the opening tutorial level of Destiny 1. And then you're thrown to the tower. And from there, you're kind of just left to pick up whatever you want and just kind of bumble your way up the light level, or power level in this game technically, since you're at 750. Because you do not actually have to play the story.
Huh.
You do not have to play any of the 3 stories you technically have access to. They're actually kind of off in a corner of the tower that you probably don't go to if you don't care about ships. They're off over there where you could pick up a mission to go play those 3 missions, or those 3 stories. But otherwise it's, hey, you want to do some strikes? Hey, do you want to do Gambit? Hey, do you want to get introduced to the Crucible? Do you want to be introduced to adventures and lost sectors and the different planets and stuff? You're kind of just spam with quests after a while, and bounties and the like, and it's just I'm at 3 pages already of fucking shit. It overwhelms you with stuff.
It
at an
almost
absurd amount.
Sounds to me like they probably, if they wanted to give enough of the story, I think that was a good idea, doing the whole intro to Destiny 1 kind of deal.
Yeah.
That did serve as a good tutorial, so sure. But I think at a certain point they probably should have followed what they did with Destiny 2 and kind of kept you locked out of stuff until you did certain things.
You're technically locked out of planets until you, I believe, hit a certain power level, maybe?
Probably.
Also, how do you feel about yet another game with a battle pass? Because this game has a battle pass.
Hence why they went free to play.
Yeah. And there's goodies in the battle pass. And they've introduced a season-only thing called an artifact that also increases your light level, I think. Your power level, whatever it is. I might end up just calling it light level because that's easier. I don't know what the artifact does. So, yeah. Also, this tower is actually the current tower. You're not in a separate instance. Because, Cade doesn't exist. So if you were hoping to interact with Cade at all, too bad. He's dead. He's dead. He's not here. The best character in Destiny, just gone.
I feel like that in of itself is a problem, because then what that effectively has done is anyone that hasn't really followed Destiny and hops into Destiny 2's free-to-play deal is going to be so freaking confused.
Yeah, because you're pretty much being dropped into the tower at the current tower, because you also have access to, I think, the first mission of Forsaken? Or not Forsaken, Nightmare? Whatever the new Destiny 2 expansion is. I can't think of it. I can't think of the name of it offhand. That's not Nightfall. That's the name of the Harder Strikes. Fuck. I don't remember what the name of it is. The new DLC that came out alongside New Light. I think you get to play the first mission of that for free.
Which I think they said going forward there would be stuff like that where you weren't completely locked out of it, but you were kind of more or less put behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Which I guess I like that as opposed to them just adding stuff and saying if you don't buy it, you don't touch it.
Yeah.
At least that way, if you do get to play the first mission of the new expansion and say you like it, then that might persuade people to buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that mentality.
There is one weird complaint I have, and bear in mind, I'm not a looter shooter person, so this might be the thing of the genre, but I don't particularly care for it. How do you feel about cycling out your gear every 5 seconds?
Oh yeah, that happened in the PvE part of the main game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the normal. How attached are you to your current gear? Because guess what? You're not going to be attached for long because it's going to be gone in no time.
That is one thing that I've kind of been fine with. It's a case of I figure out what weapon types I like, and just as long as it's that type, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I pretty much crappy equipment if it's a type I like.
I pretty much have, I think, about one of every weapon except swords and bows. The two fun weapons. I don't have those yet. But I have one of, I think, every other type of gun in the game. And then I pretty much just have a set of armor. I've just been cycling out armor. It doesn't even matter if it's a purple. I will get blues that are better than my purples in no time flat. And I'm like, what the fuck is the point of the rarity if I just keep getting stronger off blues?
A lot of that actually comes into the fact of the more rare armors you can wind up merging the stronger armors with, and then you get the looks of the rare armor with the skills of the power armor.
Yeah, I think that's technically fusion is what it's called.
I think that's what they call it, and that part is fine. But yeah, otherwise I'm with you. And I'm the type of I don't care what it looks like. It's a case of what has better numbers.
Yeah. And as far as I know, that that power level number is the number that truly matters, so. Yeah, and that annoys me as well because the shader system in here is broken down by armor piece and their consumables.
Yeah, I never cared for that part of it.
Yeah, I'm just like, wow, this is stupid and sucks. Why did you make this change? Why is this here? This is stupid. Change this. This is dumb. I don't care. I do not care. Do not tell me, oh, it makes the grind better. No, it doesn't. Shut up. No, it doesn't. You should not have to grind for fucking shaders. You should not have to grind for 5 of the same goddamn shader, especially if it's a very rare shader, just to get the color you like on the armor you like. Fuck off.
I mean,
that is stupid.
If they wanted to treat it as consumables, then they should have maybe bumped it to where you could get more.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe have one drop enough to do, say, 2 full sets. That way, you could have the first one just to try it and see, and then once you finally got to the set where you wanted it on it, then go from there.
Yeah. I mean,
instead it's a case of you test it, if you like it, then you're pretty much locked with that armor.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise, I I like the game. I like the gameplay of it. It's just, it's all the live service bullshit surrounding this game that I'm like, I could do without any of this. I could do without most of this. Like, couldn't you just given me a solid, like, 20-hour experience that's just this combat? I'd be okay with that. I don't want to spend 6 hours with a group to do a raid, because I need to be taught how to do the raid, because the mechanics are a bit obtuse.
I never really got into the raids.
I keep up with the raid scene in terms of watch, and yeah, because, you know, there's a new raid out today for the new expansion, and yeah, the mechanics are not exactly the most, like, explained either in a visual sense or in an actually told you sense. You kind of just have to figure shit out and keep banging your head against the wall. Yeah. Every raid's like that, I feel like, and I'm just like, no, I don't want this. I don't need this.
I mean, my experience with Destiny 2 has been playing the main story and dipping my toes in the Crucible enough to realize that I might have been playing a little too good, and then proceeding to go back to PvE. Because, for the record, the reason I say that is, with most shooter games, it is not uncommon for my kill-to-death ratio to be negative. I don't think I had a game in Destiny 2's multiplayer that I was negative.
Better than me in all the Crucible games I've did, because I think I've ended up negative in all mine.
I was like, okay, maybe I just need to step away from it, because I am apparently getting the RNG gods smiling on me for who my opponents are. Because there's no way I was that good.
Although I'm playing PvP like this on PC with a controller against people who have been playing this game for 3 fucking years, so of course I end up negative. Of course I get shit on.
I mean,
that makes me not want to play Crucible.
Mine was on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So pretty level playing grounds there. So it's like, yeah. Can
I not deal with Crucible ever? I don't want to play multiplayer like this.
You technically never have to touch the Crucible.
I know, but their request for it, they gave you awards for just playing Crucible matches, so I'm like, fine, I'll suffer through a Crucible match just to get this quest out of my fucking log.
Just for another one to come in its place?
Practically.
Because I'm wanting to say the Crucible has its own, like, quest line, too.
It does. It's got its own quest line, its own bounties, its own gear, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
That you have to play Crucible to get, and I'm like, you better not put anything I like, because you can fuck off.
Part of the reason I attempted it, because I was like, you know, I might actually like the fact that some of these weapons are stupidly overpowered. Maybe I could get that now. And then I was like, yeah, my luck's gonna run out. Nope, not gonna keep trying.
Yeah. I really haven't touched it since, like, the day I played it. I mainly just wanted to hop in, just see how it was, and then, like, wait until we did the streams of it. Since I would be ahead of you and could just help you just blaze through some of this bullshit. I honestly like Gambit more than Crucible. Because it's a PvE system, and most of the time it's PvE. It's only when you're invaded that it comes PvP. Or you invade or you are invaded. But otherwise it's PvE. It's really fast paced, really fun. I enjoy Gambit. Like that should be the multiplayer mode here. Not Crucible. I don't give two shits about cards.
But PvP's the way.
Not everything needs PvP. This is not the 2010s. Well, the early 2010s where everything needed a fucking multiplayer mode. No. No, it doesn't.
You're right. We're in the age now where everything needs a battle royale mode.
No, we're past that. We're at the moment where everything needs to be a live service. That's the current trend, is everything needs to be a live service.
Now all we need is for RPGs to make their re-emergence, and then we'll start making a circle again.
Unfortunately not, because RPG is baked into every game these days. Fuck, I forgot the quote on Giant Bomb's podcast because I was listening to it, and they had a really good quote about RPGs being like the toppings on every other genre now. Fuck, what was... I can't remember the analogy, but it was super good. Because it was just like, yeah, RPG is just a topping you put on any other genre now, because that's just how everything is, and it's just, Can I get a true RPG?
Nope. They don't exist.
Yeah. I'm past the point where I had to make a choice on Fire Emblem Three Houses now. That's what I ended up spoiling myself on, because there was a lot of talks about Edelgard's character in the game. Like, extremely hard, and I could not stay away because I needed to know. I'm like, why is everyone having this conversation about Edelgard's character in this game? Because I'm like, oh, she seems fine, I like her. And then it's like, oh yeah, she's the main villain of the game, and I'm like, fuck. So yeah, you know how all of the Fire Emblem Three Houses marketing, even back to when the first game was announced, was like, Edelgard's the main choice. Edelgard's the main route, essentially. Yeah, no, her route is the secret route. Because to explain the routes, initially there are 3 routes. There's the Black Eagles, the Blue Lions, and the Golden Eagles. So when you pick which house to take over, like, that's the route you're on. The other 2 don't have a choice. You're stuck on that route even through the time skip. But for Black Eagles, at a certain month, you have to accompany Edelgard to the Empire to oversee her crowning as Emperor. Or Empress, technically. If you do not accompany her, you're on the path that I chose on stream, which is the church route. When you do this choice, you do get the option to then go with Edelgard and do the true Black Eagles route. Also, it's the shortest route in the game by like 3 chapters.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it is so weird. I don't know what's up with the Black Eagles route. Is that it's the shortest route. Apparently, it has the least amount of cutscenes. Things just kind of happen off screen on it. It's like the one they put the least amount of effort into, even though it kind of should be the main route of the game. Well, it should be the main route of the game from all indicators going into the release of the game. But that turns out to not be the case. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if any of the DLC will change that in the future. But otherwise, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the little cast of characters I got. I got to recruit 3 characters right before the time skip, which I think is your cutoff point to recruit characters, even though Hilda, who I haven't been able to recruit the entire time, you can now recruit, from what I keep reading. I don't know how. Yeah, there's not much else to talk about. I got Traveler Senkai and All Rider Revolution up and running, so Traveler Senkai should be next Wednesday. We'll start that next Wednesday, and All Rider Revolution's the current follower goal. I just have to do up notes and stuff for Traveler Zenkai. Yeah, I was gonna do up notes. Well, the thing is, I have to do up notes for controls, and I can also do up notes on what's happening in certain scenes because there is a full YouTube playthrough that has everything translated.
It'd be nice if you could figure out a way to do that to where you could play it translated.
Well, the thing is, the translated was through closed captions on the YouTube video, so...
Yeah, but I'm sure if someone's went through that much hassle to try to figure out how to make the YouTube captions work properly...
I believe this is the guy who inserted his own captions, because you can do that.
I say again, if someone has managed to make YouTube captions work, then I'm sure there's probably someone else that has at least attempted to try to do some kind of translation patch. Maybe not completed.
I don't know. It seems like a lot of the writer games and the writer novels just kind of get ignored by translators.
Probably because it's a lot harder to do translation for games, at least. The novels I don't get so much, but...
I think it's word count, really. It's a lot of words.
Yeah, but why not just have that as a side project? That you plan to only maybe get one out every so long. I mean, I don't know. It's something that I would feel like would be somewhat easier because you don't have to try to figure out what the person's saying. It's actually right in front of you.
Well, they don't have to do that anymore. They have more or less the closed captions for the episodes today. So they literally have the script in front of them.
But you see what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
They've had to in the past. And I would think that it would be easier anyhow. And then it should, if that's the case and they've actually got the script in front of them technically, then yeah, that's just a longer project. Yeah. I don't know, I guess it comes down to the interests of translators because the doubled manga was translated for the first few chapters of it, and then it just stopped getting translated. Kamen Rider Spirits has a good portion of it translated, but it's just kind of stopped being translated after a while. And I think it was been on again, off again with that one. It might be off again now. I don't know, I haven't checked in. I think it's just because more people are interested in the shows than they are any of the ancillary media. I mean, I get the super ancillary media. I get that, but still, why not stuff like that just be that long-term project? Where it's a case of people aren't really pushing for it, the ones that would like it could still get it, but it might be months or years before any progress actually gets made on it.
Yeah.
I mean, anything I would think would be better than nothing.
Yeah. I mean, the only novel I know of that's translated, and fully translated and not summarized, is the Kuga novel that somebody on Tumblr did. And I assume it's fully translated. I don't know. I only have 4 chapters of it, and I think that's everything? I think? I haven't read it. But yeah, I just stumbled upon it on Tumblr, so I guess it just depends on interest. I know someone translated the Decade novel and summarized it, which is why I know that novel is extremely stupid and dumb. If you thought Decade was dumb, go find the summary of the Decade novel and you will see, how much dumber it could be. Narutoki being a vampire is, the tip of the iceberg of that novel. And no, I refuse to not use that as a joke, because that is actually true. Narataki is a literal goddamn vampire in this fucking novel. The XA novel is summarized on the writer wiki. The Drive novel is actually summarized on the writer wiki too. So if you want to read like what actually happened to both of those, then.
But I mean, getting summaries as opposed to getting the full thing translated, that's, I guess, a step forward, but it's still not all the way there.
Yeah. The guide one is summarized too. I just found that out the other day because I was just looking through material and it's like, oh hey, the guide one's summarized. And I read through the summary and it sounds a bit weird by the end. Like a bit off the wall, like, is this real? Is this the real summary? Like, are we for real on this one? Because some of this sounds out there. But okay, sure. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it just depends. I'm just kind of used to the fact that like this stuff won't. If it does get translated, it might not get translated for long. And like I'm the only person that cares. That like I'm one of those few people that actually care about some of the stuff that happens in here because there's some cool form stuff that happens. Like practically all of the remaining Gaim writers that are alive all almost have Jimba forms.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I kind of feel like that even if it was a back burner, slow day kind of deal, I feel like maybe that should be one of those kind of deals.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, as far as getting video games translated, though, I know, I completely can understand that one. You've got to actually have some programming knowledge on top of the ability to translate, or have someone that you know be able to translate. So yeah, that's a lot more skill involved.
Yeah. And also depending on like what platform it's on, it's like, how would you even give somebody the translation of this to actually utilize?
I feel like some of that could be broke down to you would have to be able to play it on either a homebrew or a emulator.
Yeah.
So that would kind of make that a little bit easier, but yeah, that's still going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Because you're going to inevitably hit something that is going to be on a console that is coded way differently and might be harder to do.
Well, you ready to talk about the news then?
I guess so.
All right. We're going to kick off with the 24-hour Nature Cam Pokemon stream. Oh boy, are people salty about this stream. So for 24 hours, Pokemon, or the Pokemon Company Game Freak, streamed on their Twitch channel and YouTube what is a camera in one of the forests in the game, and every, like, quite a while, you would see a Pokemon either run by in the background or run by in the foreground. It was kind of boring for long stretches, because I watched about 8-ish hours of it on someone else's stream. But it was all building to, because over the course of the stream, and you can scroll down to the other article that Cerebi has, or the other news report Cerebi has, to see the hints of this mysterious horse Pokemon that was popping in and out of the view. Even Impidimp was trying to hide it. And as it turns out, right at the end of the stream, it is a Galarian form of Ponyta, we assume, because we actually don't have confirmation on this.
Well, I think the article states that it was at least confirmed because of the Ponyta cry they heard.
Right. Yeah, you could hear a Ponyta cry. So, like, it's 99% confirmed that this is Ponyta in a Galalian form.
Apparently, it also says that when the camera went black, you could hear a Rapidash.
Yes, at the end of the stream ended with the camera being apparently potentially busted by the evolved form of this Galalian Ponyta, because you saw it like go to black, you heard a crash noise, then you heard a Rapidash cry, and I think you heard it ran away. So it's a confirmed. I guess that confirms, like, yes, this will evolve into a whatever this Rapidash Galalian form will be. We don't have a typing on it. The most we know is the hair in the, like, it glows when it's happy, I guess. And there might be a gender difference. There's some type of difference because in the shot with the two of them, one of them has a tail, the other one does not. My first thought immediately is a gender difference, because that's a thing in Pokemon. There's plenty of Pokemon with gender differences like this. So it's entirely likely that, like, this is that, but I'm not sure.
Maybe.
It's entirely possible to be like a style choice, because there's a couple Pokemon you could change the appearance of through a vendor, and that could be it, but it probably is just a gender difference. But yeah, that was it. Like, the only other things was, like, it was confirmation of a couple Pokemon coming back for this game, like Fantup and Botany and Swirlix, and I think like one or two others, but like that was it for 24 hours. 24 hours, mind you. So how do you feel about, since you didn't watch any of this, did you?
Nope.
You're better off than most people on the internet then. I think I'm also better off because I watched this through someone else's stream, so I had them to entertain me while this crap was happening and I was doing other stuff. What do you think about our I'll be honest, it looks like a My Little Pony. It extremely looks like a My Little Pony.
Yep.
Because it's probably also fairy type.
It is. I can't believe I'm gonna do this. It is My Little Ponyta.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's cute. I have seen people go, I spent multiple hours discussing the idea of a Galalian form Ponyta because of all the hints and stuff, and now I want it on my team because I went through this experience. I might as well fucking use it then. I mean, it's cute. I might use it.
I'm interested on how the Rapidash looks.
Yeah.
Because traditional Ponyta and Rapidash are very similar to each other.
Yeah.
So, are we gonna still see the same thing? And if so, that kind of makes less sense why they hid it.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I'm not just spot on saying yes, it'll probably look like a bigger version of this Ponyta is because let's look at Alolan Executor.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh yeah, also Impidimp was on the stream multiple times. He like licked the camera and stuff. We still don't have official information on Impidimp, even though he's in the E3 demo, clearly visible, and you even fight him.
Nope, he's
it's
not
like
in the game.
It's the most confirmed a Pokemon can be without being confirmed at this point. What the fuck?
Nope. See, Impidimp was just a placeholder for a new Pokemon.
Oh.
That would be hilarious if that happened.
That is just wrong. Well, would you like more Pokemon news?
More Pokemons?
Yes, more Pokemon's news, because Game Informer went on a trip down to Game Freak and did a cover story on Pokemon Sword and Shield. And we have a few different bullet points to hit from that. One of them has to be amended, because apparently they got a lore answer instead of a gameplay answer, is the best way to summarize it.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, they had to amend it because the Pokemon Company and Nintendo had to be like, no, that's wrong. And they're like, well, here's what they literally told us. And this kind of implies what we said. Or it implies what we said. So we went with it, and no one said no. Anyway, first up, the max raid battles are probably going to be set up similar to the raid battles in Pokemon Go. Interesting enough, they were developed independently, and they were going to be called something else until they saw Pokemon Go, or Niantic did their raid system that was similar to theirs and called it raids, and they're like, well, I guess we'll just call it raids then.
That is funny.
Because that makes more sense. And they'll be rated the same way, or kind of the same way. So there's 2 to 5 star raids, and the 5-star raids are apparently really hard. One of their top competitive people in the office has a hard time beating them. Also, there will be a new autosave feature that you can utilize in the game. It's just a toggle on-off in the options. But if you want autosave, it is there for you to use. To be fair, 90% of the time, people would probably use it. It's only for legendaries. I think you would turn that off.
Yeah.
Once more confirmation that the Pokemon that are cut from the National Dex, which they got no confirmation on what's cut, what's staying in. They didn't even get to see any type of evolutions for the starters. They got very little information out of the trip because Game Freak is being very hush-hush, close to the vest on this game for some reason, which is very not normal for them. But yeah, the cut Pokemon will come back in the future in future games. They're not gone forever. Don't worry. HMs will not be back in the game. It'll probably be the same kind of Poke Ride system we've got before. But again, no confirmation on that. EXP share is permanently on. You cannot turn it off. I'm okay with that. I guess they can better balance the game around that idea.
Maybe, but I feel like that should truthfully be an option.
Yeah.
Because that could make the difference between making the game easy and making the game challenging kind of deal.
Yeah.
I feel like that should have been that fine line of, if you want it on, you can turn it on. If you want it off, you can turn it off. If you want it on at certain parts, go for it.
Yeah. They didn't give specifics on this, but they essentially said that there are systems in place that you can utilize to change the personality of your Pokemon and help that Pokemon become more competitive viable, so that any Pokemon can be competitive viable. Now, they didn't say what, but I heard them mention breeding, which makes me think that the daycare is going to get revamped to include some of these systems that they're talking about.
I could see that.
Because what I'm assuming is that you'll go to the daycare, there will be a tutor there, you will leave your Pokemon, and like it will go through some course or something to get its personality changed to a different personality. And it will take X amount of time. So you just walk away, come back, Pokemon's now a different personality. Because they've already implemented systems that help you raise certain EVs and IVs really easily. But the one to talk about is there are not 18 gyms in Pokemon Sword and Shield. More or less, this all came from a quote. You can click on the specific article. The second quote there is the actual quote they got from, I believe, one of the producers of Pokemon Sword and Shield. So this is what their information was based off of. And looking through this quote, nothing they said in their talk in their article is wrong if you take this as a gameplay quote, but it's not. It's a lore quote. More or less, the 18 gyms are referring to, I guess, all the different types in the game. Because I believe, are we at 18 types in the game?
I thought we should have been higher than that, because I thought that was the number for the different types back in like Gen 2.
Well, bear in mind, we haven't added that many types for a long time until, like, Fairy. But yeah, more or less, the question states that there are 18 gyms in the Kalos region, one for each type, and they are split into a major league, minor league, like, system, so that some gyms are minor league, some gyms are major. The exclusive part with the different gyms is that some gyms will be minor, some gyms will be major, and like the opposite games. But yeah, this is there are only 8 gyms in the game. There's only the standard amount of gyms in the game. So if you were happy to get a gym for getting a badge for every single type, no, you're not doing that. So yeah, everyone got really excited, and then it's like, aw.
Although, to be fair, that original quote definitely made it sound that way.
Yeah. And then there's some concept art, yeah, you can look at in the last one that they just put up. Trying to think of some stuff to talk about, because I listened to the podcast segment talking about this. They asked about changing up the starters, changing up like that rock, paper, like the different starters you can get, and they're like, no, we're happy with how the starters are, that rock, paper, scissors format. And one of the people was like, well, that's all of Pokemon is rock, paper, scissors with the typing. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel like this is the one rock, paper, scissors that like makes the most normal sense and doesn't feel obtuse sometimes. Because I can't think of another like rock, paper, scissors of types in Pokemon that you'd actually go by.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I don't think there's really anything else.
Interestingly enough, when you're trying to pitch a Pokemon within Game Freak, you have to explain everything about that Pokemon.
Oh,
like
God.
everything. Like what does this part of the design mean? What is this? What is that? Like literally, you have to like, if you are designing a Pokemon in Game Freak, you have to know that thing inside and out and make it be like, this is an actual fucking thing in the world, and here's the 20 pages that explain why. They also, oh, go ahead.
Nah, go ahead.
Okay. They also talked about like how Game Freak has mentioned that, yeah, like it is really hard to make something like cool or cute or simple. It is really hard. We have to go through so many iterations of Pokemon to get to where they are finally.
I could see that.
And if you were to guess, how many people at Game Freak are actually working on this game?
I don't know, honestly.
It's only about 200 people. That's actually double from like the last 3DS titles. Like Game Freak is pretty small. There's a pretty small dev team compared to like what they're working on, and it's mainly due to the fact for them that they're rooted in it as an indie studio, and they're very much on. We want to be able to communicate with everybody, and we want to be able to make sure like we don't have a phone, like play the phone game with design stuff. So like if we can tell like 10 people, and that's the only 10 people we need to tell about design ideas and explain everything to them, good. Yeah, I encourage you to listen to it. Game Informer's podcast is pretty good. They talked about that this week. They also talked about Shenmue 3 and a couple other games. Yeah, any other thoughts about all this wonderful Sword and Shield information?
No.
Don't you love how little we get?
Yeah.
It feels weird to come off like we covered Sun and Moon, and like every podcast we had something big to talk about, but in the year it's just like, oh yeah, we only got little details to talk about. We don't have anything really big.
I almost have to wonder if they're holding back because the only big things they have are going to be better for when it's released.
They did talk about how cutting back on the number of Pokemon there in the game lets them do more gameplay stuff and more like they get to do more with the game because they don't have to put 1,000 fucking Pokemon in the goddamn game. So I
can understand that with Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
For the simple fact of this is their first mainstream game that is using a brand new engine.
Yeah.
So they don't have pre-used assets.
And Let's Go was...
At the same point, I'm like, if they really wanted to focus on the gameplay, they might should have skipped Let's Go.
Let's Go was more or less used for them to actually get a handle on the fucking Switch and get an idea of how the fuck to make anything on this goddamn thing.
Oh, so it was their 1-2 switch?
Pretty much.
Glorified
they made
tech demo?
Yeah. Pretty much. It's like they pretty much use Let's Go as like, how the fuck do we develop a game on Switch? Okay, here's us trying to make a game on Switch, and that's Let's Go. So all the tools they need, all the engine work, everything was essentially prototyped on Let's Go for use in Sword and Shield.
That honestly could be the reason why we've seen like a Galar form of Ponyta too.
Yeah.
They already had the base, so it was a case of let's play, recreate with it, and there we go.
Yeah.
That could be the other thing they're kind of holding back. Yeah, the national dex isn't going to exist. But we do know all of the Gen 1 Pokemon that were in Let's Go are in the same engine.
Yeah. I know,
that means we could either see the Gen 1s or we could see Galar forms of the Gen 1s easily.
Mm-hmm. I know I saw a rumor someone posted on the Cerebi forums while I was checking in during the fucking 24 hours of Forest Cam. I don't know when the rumor was timestamped, but someone called the Ponyta Galar form before we had real good definitive information to point towards it. Along with a couple other things that already got revealed. They did note that like most of the starters would be returning, but not all of them, which surprises me. I figured it'd be guaranteed that all the starters will return. But anyway, anything else?
No.
All right, we had a state of play recently as well, and there's not a whole lot to talk about.
Has there ever been?
Not really, no. Especially when that state of play is formatted design-wise exactly like how Nintendo Direct does their like news segment part. Like verbatim. I guess some of the highlights here. Last of Us 2 is dated for February 21st, 2020. We had a new trailer. Some of the folks on various different podcasts and major gaming news sources or news sites got to actually go down to Naughty Dog and play a demo before this state of play, and now they got to talk about it. Last of Us 2 is turning out pretty good. And also, how would you like fighting enemies that if you don't kill one of them, they leave and then come back with more friends to try to kill you?
I don't know how to feel on that.
Also, how do you like that some of those enemies have dogs that will hunt your ass down to the end of the fucking world? As soon as they have your scent, they are on your ass for an eternity until you murder dog.
Oh, wow.
Also, how do you feel about the enemies all having names that they talk to each other about before you murder them?
They're not just nameless goons?
No, if you kill somebody and someone finds them, they're like, oh no, Bob! Or like, they'll have a name and stuff, and it's like, oh fuck, I've killed an actual person. I killed somebody's friend. Even the dogs have names.
Now that's kind of...
I'm gonna feel so bad killing any dog in this game, because I'm like, no, poor doggo. He doesn't know any better. But yeah, Last of Us 2 is looking pretty good from everything that's been said. Last of Us Remastered and MLB The Show 19 are your PlayStation Plus free games for October. The details for Modern Warfare story got dropped. It sounds like a Modern Warfare story. It's a COD story.
It's a fishy story.
Yeah. A new game called Humanity is coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation VR. You remember Lemmings, right?
Yeah.
How would you want a fancy-looking Lemmings? An artsy-fartsy Lemmings. Because that's what this game is. It's an artsy-fartsy Lemmings. We got a limited edition of Death Stranding for PlayStation 4. The controller has the baby on it. It's supposed to look like the baby in the container on the grips. Medieval demo launched the day of the State of Play on PlayStation 4. Civ 6 is coming to PlayStation 4 November 22nd. Rise, The Simple Story is coming to PlayStation 4 as well. I forgot what this game is. What was this game? Oh, it's a game where you play as some old man Viking traveling through the afterlife. Because the guy gets a Viking funeral and then you take control of him in the afterlife, just journeying along. And I'm like, oh, that seems neat. It looks good. Watman's coming to PlayStation 4 in December. It looked the kooky little game. LA Noire: The VR Case Files came out the day of the State of Play. After Duval hits PlayStation 4 next year. This is from the creators of Arizona Sunshine. I actually don't remember this game. Probably for a reason. Gorham Battles is coming to PlayStation VR, and Stardust Odyssey is announced for PlayStation VR. A lot of VR material. So anything looking particularly interesting for someone on the outside looking in for PlayStation?
Not really, no.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you can get Civ 6 on PlayStation 4 in November, or you can just play Civ 6 now. With mod support, most likely.
I find it funny, too, like you said, a lot of VR stuff. It's almost like we're at the end of a console cycle.
Yeah, it's almost like a PlayStation 5 should be coming soon. Do you want some Avengers news? Avengers the video game.
Avengers or Met Avengers?
The Avengers video game from Square Enix and crew.
So meh.
Sure. To no one's surprise, literally no one's surprise. Who fucking did not see this coming? Kamala Khan is playable. For whatever reason, she is never referred to as Miss Marvel. I
Really?
find that odd. Yes. She's only referred to as Kamala Khan. I guess she doesn't get the Miss Marvel name until like the end of the game. Technically, Carol has to give it to her. Assuming she's in this universe, which we're not sure she's in the universe, but like Kamala's shirt suggests that she is, at least in the Miss Marvel persona at some point. Because that lightning bolt is Miss Marvel's lightning bolt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like she plays like Kamala would play. So, and she's bringing a little bit lightheartedness to some of the cutscenes we've seen. Again, we're not gotten into the mechanics and stuff. This came out of New York Comic Con from this weekend. I still want to know the nitty gritty of this game, mechanically speaking. The gameplay looks fine. I need to know the live service garbage of this game. Because unfortunately, I'm like Jim Sterling, where I'm kind of done with live service games. I just want a game I can play and be done. I don't want a game that I have to play for eternity to have good fun with. But yeah, you got any thoughts on this?
No.
Alright then. In conjunction with Batman Day, not only did you get a Fortnite event, WB Games teased a new Arkham game? Question mark? Consider this a in-progress story. On Batman Day, WB Games Montreal tweeted a GIF or a video of the bat signal being shined on a building at their office. If you watch the video closely, you saw the interconnect, these different symbols like glitching into the video. They have since teased those logos on their own and a separate video. What does all this mean? Most people are chalking this up to a Court of Owls related Arkham game, because WB Games Montreal are the ones who played are the ones who made Batman Arkham Origin. So the B team that made Arkham, not the A team that is Rocksteady. So even though this is an Arkham game, this still isn't Rocksteady, so we still don't know what Rocksteady is working on. And for reference of what the fuck the Court of Owls is, it's a secret society that's been a part of Gotham's history for like decades, that was recently introduced in the comics within the last like 10 years or so. That's the short version of it.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if this isn't supposed to coincide, because I think I've seen something about, as far as the comics are going, they're kind of circling back around to that again.
Well, right now, Batman is circling in place.
It might be a case of the games are trying to do the same thing and follow in with the comics.
Well, right now, the main Batman comic book is notoriously bad and underperforming to the point that Incredible Hulk, which is a comic book that does not perform well, is outperforming it. Yeah, Tom King is not doing well on the Batman comics, from what I've heard from the comic YouTubers I follow. Yeah, we might be doing Court of Owls stuff for an Arkham game. Granted, a while back, confirmed information of a canceled Arkham game from Rocksteady. Had nothing to do with this, mind you. Nothing to do with this material. It was going to be a Damian Wayne focused game. And we saw concept art for a couple of villains. So we know an Arkham game was canceled at some point. But it's not this game. And that was like a month and a half ago, I think, is when I saw that. Because I caught somebody tweet the concept art and images, and I had to go digging through Google image search to find the original source. Yeah, I'm curious to see where this goes, considering it's went nowhere so far.
Went nowhere
it's
fast.
Kind of, no.
It's actually went nowhere slow, too.
Yeah. Yeah, just... Can an announcement be like an actual announcement with information these days, instead of just, hey, here's a teaser for a thing we're working on?
Nope.
We'll talk to you about it in like 6 months when we can actually show you something.
Or in Prime 4's case, a year and a half.
Yeah, let's show you this game. Fuck, we had to restart development. Ignore that we announced it, please. We're moving on. Yeah, that's it for news. Which...
Takes us to the list of 500 releases, I'm assuming.
Fuck's sakes.
501 releases.
We are truly in release season for video games, because fuck me, is there everything.
But there's only 3 for the 7th.
Yeah, 3 for the 7th. Look at the fucking 8th.
That's why I said that.
Look at the 10th. Look at the 11th. Look at the 15th and the fucking 17th. Fuck. So many games.
You know what's bad? The 8th has all the others beat. The 8th is the only one that I barely could get the entire list on screen.
Alright, so picking up on the 7th, tomorrow. Technically tomorrow, since technically the 6th.
Or a day and an 8 minutes away if you're in Central.
Yeah. We've got Crazy Mini Golf Arcade for the Switch, Junior League Sports for Switch, and Slabwell, the Quest for Hacktun's Alpaca for PlayStation 4. And on the 8th, we have a Winter's...
I take that back. I can't get the whole list on there.
Oh.
So no, the 8th has it beat.
Yeah. We've got a Winter's Daydream for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Vita, and Switch. Aldred, Knight of Honor for Switch. Another Sight, PlayStation 4 and Switch. Asphalt 9 Legends for Switch. Atlas Game Preview for Xbox One. Battlestar Galactica Deadlock for Switch. Bibby and Tina at the Horse Farm for PlayStation 4. Burger Time Party for Switch. Call of Cthulhu, the official video game for Switch. Concrete Genie for PlayStation 4. Dodge Hard for Switch, In Between for PlayStation 4, Indivisible for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, which is the most noteworthy game on this fucking list. That's an indie title that's been in development for a couple years now and was kickstarted. It looks so freaking good. I played a demo of it like a long time ago. Ty even tweeted, like, did anyone remember when Individual's release date was? And I was about to tweet to him, it's Tuesday. It literally comes out Tuesday. We also have Intervectorum for PlayStation 4, Monochrome Order for PlayStation 4, Pool Nation for PlayStation 4, Reventure for Switch, Root Letter Last Answer for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Superbox Land Demake for PlayStation 4 and Vita, The Alliance Alive HD Remastered for PlayStation 4 and Switch, The Bradwell Conspiracy for PlayStation 4, Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Switch, Trine Ultimate Collection for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Switch, Tropico 6 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Worse Than Death for PlayStation 4 and Switch, and Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair for Xbox One and Switch. That is essentially, hey, do you like Donkey Kong Country? Here's Yooka-Laylee's take on Donkey Kong Country. On the 9th, we have Contraptions for PlayStation 4, Draw Stickman Epic 2 for Xbox One, Mistoverse for Switch, and Stellatum for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. On the 10th, we have A Knight's Quest for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Contraptions for Switch, Corpse Party Blood Drive for Switch, Duped for Switch, Family Tree for Switch, Little Frere Bros for Switch, Maple in the Wood for Switch, Midnight Evils for Switch, Mistover for PlayStation 4, Monochrome Order for Switch, Pocket Stables for Switch, Queen's Quest 4, Sacred Truce for Switch, River City Melee Mock for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Secret File Sam Peters for Switch, Spirit Hunter New Game, or NG, whatever that's actually supposed to be, for PlayStation 4, Vita, and Switch, The Bradwell Conspiracy for Switch, and Balafaris for Switch. On the 11th, we have A Knight's Quest for Xbox One, Div Soccer 2019 for Xbox One, Aeon Blade 2 for PlayStation 4, Deep Breeze Infinity for Xbox One, Doraemon Story of Seasons for Switch, Earthfall for Switch, Frostpunk Console Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. That's a pretty good, like, real-time strategy game, actually. Like a real-time strategy, like, city management game, where you have to keep a city warm and alive in a blizzard apocalypse. As you have taken shelter in a crater and try to keep everybody warm and not named to death from frostbite and having to hack limbs off every which way. We also have Grid for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Killer Queen Black for Switch. That keeps popping up on, like, the Switch Directs, I think. Or, like, Switch coverage at conventions, because that kept being boost space. Lost Artifact Time Machine for Xbox One, The Bard's Tale 4 Director's Cut for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Bradwell Conspiracy for Xbox One, Twin Cop for Xbox One, and Wonder Song for PlayStation 4 and Switch. On the 15th, Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition Collector's Pack for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Children of Morta for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, DayZ for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Everspace Stellar Edition for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Overwatch Legendary Edition for Switch. It's 30 FPS. I hope you're happy with that. Also, no amiibo support. Also, Blizzard said that Nintendo can use whoever they want for Smash if they desire. We also have Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition, Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, The Eyes of Ara for Switch, The Ninja Saviors Return of the Warriors for PlayStation 4 and Switch, The Sims 4 Realm of Magic for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition for Switch, then Zombieland Double Tap Road Trip for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. On the 16th, Little Town Hero from Game Freak is on the Switch. And another little funny story, Game Informer asked if they could shoot some footage of the development of the dev floor at Game Freak for Sword and Shield. Guess what their answer was?
What?
No, but you can go upstairs and take footage of people working on Little Town Hero.
No Sword and Shield for you, but you can have our other game.
Yeah, that was the hilarious part of it, apparently, is that the Game Freak was so tight-lipped about Pokemon Sword and Shield, but they would not, but if you asked them about Little Town Hero, they would be more than happy to answer every fucking question. On the 17th, we have Battle Planet Judgment Day for Switch, Zombieverse for Switch, Felix the Reaper for Xbox, PlayStation 4, and Switch, and also, by the way, Little Town Hero is like $25 on the eShop, I would assume. It is a budget title. Anyway, we have Kind for Xbox, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Monkey King Hero in Black for PlayStation 4, Rabby Ribby for Switch, Sega Ages Columns 2 The Voyage Through Time for Switch, Stella for Xbox One, Standard Sales Explorers of the Cursed Islands for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Sub-Level Zero Redux for Switch, Summer Sweetheart for Switch, The Fisherman Fishing Planet Complete Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, The Jackbox Party Pack 6 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes Complete Edition for PlayStation 4. And finally, on the 18th, we have A Hat in Time for Switch, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition for Switch. That's actually still a pretty good game. If you want a game to play while you're waiting on Pokemon Sword and Shield, that's a good game. That'll carry you until you get Pokemon in a couple months. And the best part is you get the base game and then you get more or less the expansion that was released as a full game, when it is nowhere close to an actual full game. It's more or less just an expansion. We also have Apex Legends Lifeline Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Driven Out for Xbox One, Ice Age Scrat's Nutty Adventure for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Mega Aquarium for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Big Eat Ball for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 and Switch, Plants vs. Zombies, Battle of the Neighborville for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Return of the Obra Dinn for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Really good game. I played through all of it for PC. It's really good. Ring Fit Adventure for Switch. That dumb thing we talked about a while back. Exercise game. Yeah, that's coming. That comes out this month. Yep. Are you ready? Yes. It is. It's an adventure game where your controller is the fucking ring.
To be fair, after you said that is when it was like, yeah, that's completely that.
Yeah.
Ring Fit.
Yep.
Sounds a lot like Wii Fit.
It's an adventure game. It's just a regular old adventure game. You do combat by doing different poses and stuff with the ring. Or different exercise poses and stuff with the ring. It's weird and out there and completely Nintendo. We also have Safari Pinball for Switch, Starblocks Inc. for Switch, and Zik Square for the Switch. Which takes us to Quick Draws, and mine is actually an update on Persona 5R. Because for the last couple months, they've had these little videos talking about different updates and stuff that they're doing for Persona 5R. And interestingly enough, in this latest one, they confirmed that they will have DLC where you fight the main protagonist of Persona 3 and Persona 4.
Hold on.
And you also get this My Palace area that is, hey, you earned these different trophies in the game. Here they are. Here's all these achievements and all this other stuff you've done in the game for display. And hey, you can walk around as any of the other characters in the game. Like, you can walk around as Morgana as an actual cat in this area because fuck it, why not? Yeah, Persona 5R has looked good from all the different updates and stuff I've seen. I'm kind of excited for it to come out next year. in America eventually. Yay.
Yeah.
Why can't you localize this on fucking time? God damn it, Atlas. But yeah, that's all I had. And
More
apparently
than I
the complete
have.
box. Yeah. Apparently the complete box set for Soto 01 still not up for pre-order, and it comes out at the end of the month. I don't know what's happening with this.
Oops.
Yeah. It should have been up for pre-order like several days ago at this point. I don't know why. We know what it's all in the box now. They've revealed and shown off everything in the box. They just now started revealing stuff for the second set. And they're starting with Flaming Tiger. Not Valkyrie. No, we start with Flaming Tiger and give you 3 whole sets of hands to use with this 4-inch figure. We're giving you fists, we're giving you splayed open hands, and we're also giving you angled splayed open hands. So, like, you're gonna have Flaming Tiger do a Kamehameha. I don't think he's posable enough for it, but you can approximate it with these hands. Also, barely any stickers on it from what I saw. It's mostly paint on this 4-inch figure. That is a retail release. Soto is stupidly impressive at times. And I'm not gonna lie, with Lightning Hornet debuting this week, I wouldn't mind having that. Lightning Hornet looks really good. Yeah, anything else?
No.
Alright then, tomorrow! It's Sunday, essentially. We're talking about the next 4 episodes of Forza. We have a very interesting batch as we essentially wrap up the Kamen Rider Club recruitment arc. Finally. We got Tomoko joining, and then we have Kingo officially joining. After that, we pick up on Wednesday with me starting Traveler Senkai, so we're gonna play through all of that. Hopefully, as long as it all works. We're kind of rolling the dice on this one. The emulation on it is not tested, so guess who's testing it? Guess who's gonna find out if this game decides to break halfway through. It's me!
Hope you have a plan B.
What? There's never a plan B. There's never a plan B in advance. It is always a scramble. Thursday will be us continuing Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I'm not sure how many streams we have left of that. Probably a while. And then we'll transition to something else. I'm not sure what at the moment. Friday will be us hopefully finishing.
Will be the end of Minish Cap.
Oh, fuck, thank God. Minish Cap will be done.
At that point.
Yeah. We're beating the shit out of Adi, and we are never touching this game again.
I don't care if I have to save state after every room transition. I am getting through it, and it's going to be done.
And Saturday will be Grandpa Gaming, which I don't know. That's technically the second. The what?
TBD.
Yeah. I was about to say, technically it's the second to last day of the season for Fortnite. It ends on a Sunday, because the event's on a Sunday. Because we now have a count.
I'm debating on us just doing the Hail Mary at the end there.
Yeah. I will probably be practically caught up on stuff, so it would just be doing whatever you want. Because the countdown started on... What?
We'll see. I don't know
Yeah,
yet.
the countdown started on the rocket and is pointing towards next Sunday as when the event happens. Who is ready for the world to snap in half and to get a new map? All I know is from this live event is that if you are in the lobby for this, or you're on the map for this, you will be teleported off the map and have to watch from off the map somewhere else. Whatever the fuck's gonna happen.
Huh.
So for all we know, the world will go boom. But yeah, that'll bring us back around to the final of the first batches of episodes before the following week we could do Mega Max. I have had Mega Max up too much, haven't I?
We'll see.
I could probably not do notes for Mega Max and still hit every plot point necessary. I know that movie too well. Far too well. Anyway, if you like what you're watching, give us a follow. We really appreciate it. We're on the road to 200, where we got some Halo custom maps and All Rider Revolution to stream. So those will be fun. If you want updates on when we go live, the Twitter is where to go at TG Saloon. We have a Discord, !Discord. We'll get you that. There's rooms and stuff to talk, and there's a little chat room to drop your questions in that we will happily answer either on here or on TGSR. It depends on where that question would be most relevant. Other than that, that will do it for me and Tommy. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.